today, guys, I hate to bring it to you guys, but we need to talk to our brother 50 Cent. Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. Can you please come to the front, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent? We need to talk because right now we have no idea what it is you are up to. This is out of control. You've become a major problem to the black community. And you know this channel is for black men. And so we're gonna hold each other accountable on this page channel, depending on wherever you're watching this at, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We gotta start holding each other accountable. 50 Cent, you have become a force of just chaos and destruction amongst us as black people. For one, you're a rapper already, so I don't see the thing about you rappers in this rap community thing. You guys like to pick and choose who's the worst. It's like a whole bucket of bad apples, but you want to pick out the most rotten one. All you rappers are terrible and disgusting. Most of you, I say 98%. There's a few that I like. Nipsey Hussle. I like Future a lot, even though Future's probably the king of toxicity. But we're gonna keep Future around. He can make some good music. But the rap genre needs to go. Honestly, as black men, rap needs to go. It's done. It's done nothing. Rap, hip hop has done nothing positive for the black community. Can you please name me something? I'll wait. And I don't want to hear just theories and just a bunch of talk and whatnot. No, like, what institutions has rap hip hop built? Have they ever built a bank of hip hop? Is there a grocery store called hip hop? Is there what have you done in any level other than made music about the sexualization of women, the fratricide and the glorification of killing black men? What did 50 Cent say on this song? I put a hole in the for effing with me. Like, 50 Cent, you came into the game, right, with drama. And what is it, 20 years later? 30 years? I don't know how long you've been around. You're about 50 years old now. 50. You're 50. You've done nothing but cause chaos. Recently, we've seen your little goons, I don't know what you would even call Tony Yayo at this point. It's just like, Tony, this is looking bad. Like, get off that man's, it's too much. So, 50 Cent recently has got into it with TI. TIP, Clifford Harris from Atlanta, Georgia. They're beefing. And this is when I say 50 Cent, where we just start noticing there's something psychologically wrong with you, brother. And you need to go get some help. And we all understand, we all have problems in our lives. We have a lot of, I'm nobody perfect, but you need to go get help. So you're having a rap back and forth about who has made better songs. And all of a sudden you drop a video of T.I. in a courtroom testifying against some other guys from, I think it's Cleveland, Ohio, where this happened. And T.I., you did take the stand. That was kind of crazy. And it's not crazy because you did it, but when you promote a certain lifestyle of this gangsterism, I'm sorry. You don't get to just say, I want to be a citizen tomorrow. No, you don't. When you've been glorifying a lifestyle of selling drugs, police, dodging the police, being a pimp, a womanizer, and then when it gets real and the police are at your front door knocking saying, hey, we need to talk to you, and you go outside and then you cooperate, I'm sorry, brother. That's a bad look. That lets us know you weren't about it from the beginning. You were just talking. But anyway, so that happened a while ago. Then later on, this is years ago that happened. Now we're dealing with T.I. because they want to talk about doing a battle versus. And so 50 Cent takes it upon himself to post a video or picture of his wife, 50, of his wife on the internet with her dress kind of in the air. You can see her private areas. And it was just distasteful, 50. That's when I was like, 50, come on. That woman had nothing to do with you and T.I. You guys were going back and forth as men. For you to attack this woman, that let me know how low you can go. And that's disgusting. It's disgusting, 50, because even though we're not all perfect, I've done things in life where I regret, said things I regret. But I would think at 50 years of age, you've kind of smoothed that knot. That shouldn't be. And so now we have T.I.'s son, King. I know this sounds like a bunch of hoopla and blase blah here and there, But we have his son now talking about 50 Cent's deceased mother. You know what I mean? Talking about where she buried up, dig her up, this and that. Oh, come on. It is just like, what other people are on the internet doing this? Guys, can you point to the Asian community that's doing that? Can you point to the Latino community that's on the internet doing this? Can you point to the Indian community? Like, we are on the internet just saying the most worst and despicable things we can say about each other. And I'm so surprised that Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook and Instagram, or YouTube owners and executives on the board would say, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, putting this type of content online. But they monetize it. They use it to get more eyes. And so that when we see a brother like Michael B. Jordan get on the stage the other day and get called a nigga, and he gets screamed, it all has to do with each other. You can't see it? Once you present yourselves in a certain way or a certain fashion in front of people, that's how you're associated. Instead of you brothers who are multi-millionaires, we're talking about multi-millionaires, right? This is the reason why I talk about the white power structure knows who to give the money to. 50 Cent, they know that you don't give a damn about black people. We heard you're a Trump supporter, a MAGA supporter. Clown. That just lets me know you're a clown. You'll betray anybody. You don't care about anybody but yourself. Now listen, we have 50 Cent, if you're watching this, hopefully you are, and other rappers out there. We have a lot bigger fish to fry. Why don't you turn that gangsterism that you guys are pointing towards yourselves to the real ones? The guys who are really putting us in these situations. See, and that's the reason why we say you rappers are cowards. Because you guys got all the beef to kill somebody who looks like you, who doesn't have money, who's just living. But when the police come, when the government comes, all these gangster rappers start kissing their butts and their behinds. 50. Look, we have one. We're going to go over like 5 or 6 points. One, this is one thing you rappers could be talking more about and using your money on. Violent crimes within the neighborhood. It doesn't matter if you're black from America or immigrant black. These are a major issue for violence within your neighborhoods. If you have children, you want them to be able to go to school and be safe. And then there's lack of economic resources. As far as household income, wealth gap, inflation, and unemployment. These are major things. A third one, systemic racism, racial discrimination, and policing. You already know that when you're, as a black man, and police are a problem, you go anywhere, you automatically assume that you're doing something wrong. Also, we can talk about incarceration rates. The black man is 5 times more likely to go to prison or to jail than any of his counterparts when we commit less crime. If you look at the type of crimes that we commit, the more violent ones, of course, because that's the only ones you realize. But if you look at white-collar crimes, what the white power structure does, destroying whole communities with the banking situation that happened a couple years ago. Then you also have stock markets crashing. You got people like, what is his name? Bernie Madoff ripping off billions and billions of dollars. I mean, a regular everyday black criminal, he's just probably selling drugs, might rob a person or two, which isn't good, but that's the extent to that. And then also housing is also a major issue you rappers could be talking about. Affordability for housing, you know what I mean? As far as groceries and grocery centers and environmental certain things. There are so many things you rappers could make sound so cool. Like when I listen to Nipsey Hussle, I love Nipsey Hussle. He talks about the struggle in a way that a lot of rappers do, but he puts a consciousness behind it. So what we're saying with 50 Cent, it's not like you don't know this. You know what you are. You're just a tool of chaos. The whole rap world is chilling, I guess. I don't know what you guys are up to. And then here comes 50 out the sky. And it's like, why do these white people who are in power and who have the ability, why do they constantly give this guy the money? Why do they constantly give him the keys? It's because they want to keep us stupid. It's called systemic factors. You have just like systemic disparities as far as lack of resources, fewer opportunities, and to keep you there, they have to keep you dumb, right? So let's talk about a little bit about how they do that to keep you dumb. Instead of you focusing on things that you can't control, let's say like you have kids, right? When you have children and you send them to school, right? What I find is very funny is like us black people in America or across the globe, we are distracted, easily distracted. For him to be the main subject talking point on the internet, and when I kept saying, when you send your kids to a school that is failing, the black boy right now, what is it? The black boy education-wise, and talk about literacy, is 6% to 10% eighth grade boys read. 6 to 10% of eighth grade black boys read at a proficient level, and only about 1% is advanced. Reasons for that: systemic disparities, lack of resources, fewer experienced teachers. As far as the teachers that are, when you put your kids, this is what I was trying to say earlier. I get lost a little bit. That's why I got to write stuff down. But when you put your child on that bus in the morning and send them to the school, do most of us black people even know what the standing of the school is at, as far as the teachers? How long is the teacher that's been teaching your kid how to read? How long have they been teaching? How long is this principal? Where is this principal from? What did he do before? Did he live in a different city? Was he let go from another job for abuses of funds? Or you don't really know what you're dealing with. Also, we have less cultural relevant curriculum, meaning, what is it? About 80% of teachers in public schools are white females. So you have to understand, the reason why the black boy isn't reading so well is not because he's dumb. It's because there's no cultural connection with the instructor or what the instructor is teaching. If you expect some white suburban girl who's married to a cop and her dad votes MAGA to be teaching your black son how to read, that is insanity. That's the reason why I say us black people are insane to a certain extent. We're sending your children to the people who've done so much to destroy you. And why would you think they would want to help you and help your black boy? No. What they do is they automatically criminalize them by anything that they do is already deemed to seem as bad. If your son can't sit still, it's not because he's just an 8-year-old boy. It's because, oh no, there's something mentally wrong with him. Oh, put him in the slow class. Everybody knows about these. When I think about my experience of going to public schooling in the United States as a young black kid, when I look at it, it was horrible. Horrible. I never had a connection. Well, it's probably 2 teachers, and they were both black males, that I've ever had a connection with as a teacher in my life. When I hear about other white kids, they talk about, yeah, my teacher had a baby. I'm like, you know that much about your teacher? Yeah, we stay in contact. You stay in contact with your middle school teacher. My middle school teacher was just like, get these kids out of here, get them out of my face. But anyway, what else we got? We got less cultural relevant curriculum. Black boys are doing worse than black girls. Reason being, the black man is the #1 threat to the United States, because they understand that we will then begin thinking about Pan-Africanism through education, and don't educate the black man, because if the educated black man meets up with the Jamaican educated, the Haitian educated, the Caribbean, the African continental, the European, Middle East, it's going to be a problem. So they understand, do not educate these black boys. If you don't think it's a coincidence that all the prisons are filled up with, because this is what we're talking about, the school to prison pipeline, less literacy, everyone knows, leads to higher rates of incarcerated. So if you can't read, you're not good at math, and you're not proficient at these things, what else are you going to turn to? Crime. Even with black boys who are with educated black parents, this is a problem. Once again, you're sending your child to learn from the enemy. That makes no sense. There's a saying of people who do not take control of their children's education is not a serious people. You're sending until these rappers stop this shit. Why is this the main topping point on the internet that I see right now? When you have all these black boys who aren't able to read. 50 Cent, how about you guys challenge each other instead of a versus? We don't care about your verses. No one cares about your battles and your beefs. How about you guys do a versus on who can donate more to a black literacy program for kids in New York, or whoever wins, Atlanta gets the money or New York gets the money. And why don't you guys do things like that? Y'all do your verses and y'all go home. That's why we don't care about you rappers. That's why whenever time you turn on your internet, the rappers is dead in their neighborhoods. Because you don't come to your neighborhoods and help out. See, I guarantee you, if you rappers were to go to your neighborhoods, where you come from, these hoods and these ghettos, and you were to be a positive force, the death rate for these rappers would go down. But all you guys do is go back to your neighborhoods, flex on the people who are broke and still there, so that when they catch you, they want to rob you and kill you. They don't even like you. You're not even here to help. You're here to stunt. You're there to remind them of how inadequate they are. So, literacy, if you want to check out these numbers, you can check them out on the literacyresearchassociation.com. They keep track of these numbers. These white people keep track of our literacy. They keep track of our mathematical skills. Right now, 84% of black boys lack proficiency in mathematics. But we sitting here with 50 Cent screaming on the internet about what? T.I., he's a snitch. I don't care if T.I. snitches. I don't care. Only people who care about snitches are criminals. No one, if you're only criminals are worried about snitches. Now, yes, have black people been pushed into criminal spaces? Yes, because of lack of resources and lack of opportunities, lack of education. Yes, but we're not going to sit here and cry about it all day. We got to get up and we got to fix it. Fix it. People said we've done it before, but we're going to have to do it again. Do it again and again and again until it sticks. That's just, what else you want to do? Sit here and cry and beef on the internet all day with 50 Cent running around 50? Come on, man. You got to stop this. This is disgusting. What is going on in your life that you have to sit there and make fun of another man's wife? When we have so many problems as a black community that you have a megaphone right now. With the voice that you have, it's like, why? His voice is super loud right now. He was hot when I was younger, then he kind of fizzled, and now he's back on the main stage. It's almost like somebody pressed a green button for you. And it's like, who pressed the button on? And then it's like, what you're saying is just trash. It's just like someone pressed a green button for us to hear about how you don't like this person's wife is ugly. Diddy, you made a whole documentary on Diddy. When you could took that budget and made a documentary on the literacy rates of black boys and how to fix that. You could have made a documentary on mass incarceration. Done a documentary on Pan-Africanism. You could but this is what you choose to do with your shit. This is the reason why I said niggas versus black men. And 50 Cent is a nigga. Don't get that wrong. Just because he puts on a suit and he has money doesn't mean, ain't no amount of money that can wash that stench off you, brother. You need to get that stench off you. You're looking real weak and emotional right now. And I know people are looking at me saying, you're talking, I don't know, maybe he might hear this. You look emotional. No man is on the internet talking this much bad about people when it seems like, what's the problem? I don't know. And when there's police brutality, black boys can't read, there's a missing girl, I don't see none of you rappers talk about none of this. None of it. And it's like, okay, I don't really look at rappers to lead us as black people. No, I'm not saying that. But it's just like, but then why is your voice so fucking loud? You're able to reach millions of people. There's people, and I've seen people in the comments from Africa and in Brazil. I'm like, that's when the problem becomes. That's when it's like, okay, hey, 50, you're coming across as a cornball. Stop. No one cares that you punked Ja Rule. You guys are in your 50s. Only goofy internet lames think that's something tough. You have nothing to offer, 50. In that book, The 49th Laws of Power, The 50 Laws of Power, Robert Greene, that was a dumb book. The only people who reads The 48 Laws of Power are sociopaths. It's a dirty book. It's about how to manipulate and use people. I don't like reading stuff like that. And people, oh, man, you got to read The 48 Laws of Power and The Art of War. I don't like that type of stuff. I feel like a sociopath who's trying to learn how to control and manipulate. And then when you shake his hand, make sure to look him in the eyes and stare him down and dominate the room. Man, come on, you're corny, man. That's corny. But anyway, y'all, just check out what you are watching on the internet. Don't give these guys any attention. Once again, 50, you've been making nothing but these goofy power movies all about drug dealing, killing each other, and McCain is now the kingpin of New York and he's selling keys. And why is this the only thing that you make, 50? Why is this the only type of content you make? But anyway, 50 Cent, slow it down, brother. Chief Mariah talking to you. You know what it is.